Hello friends, and welcome to Life in Envelopes. I am Jennifer Bleecher. In today's video I am going to be closing out my budget for the month of June, and it is the 4th of July, and I just want to say happy 4th to everyone. I hope that you guys all have a wonderful weekend. My shop, my Etsy shop, Life in Envelopes, where I make all of these beautiful colorful stickers, is having its annual 4th of July sale this weekend. It has already started. There's no coupon code needed. The whole shop is 20% off if you want to head over there and check it out. Okay, let's start with where I spent my money this last week and couple of days of June. Starting with bills, I had two bills come out. Netflix came out for $27, and that came out on the 30th. And then Logan's homeschool came out also on the 30th, and that was $32, and that will be the last time we have to pay for his homeschool program until September 1st. So that's pretty exciting. Okay, moving on to food. We got groceries on the 29th, and we ended up spending $53 on food. I got groceries from Meijer, and I also ended up spending some other money at Meijer besides money on food. I'm being very careful now to figure out what's food and what's other things. Like if it's, like on this particular day, I also got vitamins and aloe vera and sunscreen and other things. And so $53 of my bill that day with Meijer was for food, but I actually spent $68 on miscellaneous items. So going forward, I'm going to be more careful to figure out what I'm looking at the receipt, and I'm figuring out what on the receipt is a food item and what on the receipt is something else, so that I'm more accurate in my accounting. Okay. Moving on to cash envelopes. So last week when I came to you, I had completely redone my budget because this is my first budget in my new home as a single mom, and I just had messed up the first time. So this is my second draft of my budget, and I had given myself a budget of $100 a month for entertainment for Logan and I hadn't calculated that yet when I came to you last week. So I'm going to go over all of that with you now. So it's going to go beyond just this last week and 2 days. So starting on the 9th, we rented a video. We actually rented it on the 8th. We do Sunday night video with, on Sunday nights, we've been doing movie night with my parents every week at my house with my video projector, and we get popcorn. Anyways, so it was actually on the 8th, but it came out on the 9th. So the rent for that video was $4. And I get it straight from Amazon Prime. And then Logan and I ordered pizza on the 16th. I'm just gonna stick this here. You know what? It's kind of crowded. I'm gonna put it over here. It was on the 16th. And then we also got Starbucks that day on the 16th. So we spent $24 on pizza, and we spent $13 on Starbucks. As I was looking at what we spent money on for entertainment, there were three main things that kept coming up: video rentals, pizza, and Starbucks. So that's where we spent our entertainment money this month. So let's keep going. Wait a second. Did I get Starbucks twice that day? I must have. Well, that's interesting. Why would I do that? Maybe I did it in the morning and then again in the afternoon. Wow. That wasn't very responsible of me. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then on the 20th, we got pizza again, and that was $37 that time, so it was a little more expensive than when we did it on the 17th. And then we got Starbucks again for $13. Okay, and then we rented a movie on the 22nd, and it came out on the 23rd. And then on the 25th, we ended up getting pizza again, and we spent $24 on that. Ooh, I think I'm seeing a trend here. We also got Starbucks that day for $13. It looks like each time we get pizza, we also get Starbucks. I think next month I'm gonna make a goal to only do one special thing a day. So we either do Starbucks or we do pizza, but we don't do both. Because that happened 1, 2, 3 times. Interesting. Okay, and then on the 30th, we got pizza again, and we spent $23 that time. And on the 29th, we rented a video, came out on the 30th, and that was $4. Okay, so that's all my entertainment. Because for cash envelopes, back here, maybe I should make entertainment a variable category instead of a cash envelope. I'm going to reevaluate this for the month of July. I think I might make some of these variable expenses and leave some as cash envelope. I'm going to think about that. I'm going to work on my July budget after I'm done with this. I haven't even started working on my July budget yet. Okay, so now let's fill in the worksheet here. My income from Etsy, YouTube, and Patreon all together was $1136. I was estimating that I was going to make about $2,000, so as you can see, I was way off. And this is my slowest time of the year. Summer is my slowest time of the year. June, July, August, things start to pick up again, but those 3 months are usually pretty tough for me. So I am going to have to use quite a bit of savings to cover the difference. Or I already did use quite a bit of savings to cover the difference of where I spent my money. So coming over here to fixed expenses, Netflix came out, we budgeted $27, and that's exactly how much it was. Homeschool came out and we budgeted $32, and that's exactly how much it was. So altogether, we budgeted $2,030 for our fixed expenses. So when I say our, I'm referring to myself and my son, Logan. So I'm going to add together how much we actually spent. 2012. So we were a little bit below budget there, which is nice because I know I went above budget in some other areas. So that's nice. Okay, moving down here to my variable expenses. So we're starting with 2012. Okay, let's go to the worksheet where I track my variable expenses, and then we'll come back and fill this information in. So this is a separate add-on to my Budget Mom Budget by Paycheck workbook pack that people can add on if they want to. Personally, for me, I find it one of my most useful tools, one of my most useful add-ons, so I really like it. So for food this week, I spent $53. So 80 minus 53 is $27. So I have $27 left in my food budget at the end of the month. For gas, I did not get any more gas. So I still have $52 in the gas budget. Okay, moving on to miscellaneous. We had $111 left in our budget. This week I ended up spending an extra $68 on miscellaneous items. So 111 minus 68 is $43. Wow, I have money left over in every variable budget category. That is so cool. Okay, so 53 and 68 is 121. So 27, 52, and 43 is what I have left. So I have 122 left altogether. So if I did this right, if I take 243 minus 121, it should equal 122. 243 minus 121 is 122. Okay, great. Okay, so now I have my final numbers for my worksheet. So starting with food, I started with $800. I was left with 27. So 800 minus 27 means that I spent $773 on food. Okay, gas for the car. I only got gas once this month, and it was a $28 charge for that. For miscellaneous, I budgeted $200. I was left with $43 at the end of the month, so 200 minus 43 is $157. So I ended up spending $157 on miscellaneous items. Okay, so I'm going to add this up all together. So altogether, I spent $958 on my variable expenses. Wow, okay, that's cool. So I was below budget with my fixed expenses, and I was below budget with my variable expenses. Let's move on to my cash envelopes. So some of these are cash envelopes I would like to have, but I have not started yet. There are things I'm thinking about doing. And I'll think more about that for July. I did not spend any more on nails or hair this month, so those are all done. Entertainment, I had a budget of $100, and all together I spent $176 on entertainment. So that, I believe, is the only budget category in my whole budget that I went over this month. So let's see how much I spent all together. So 54 plus 201 plus 30 plus 176. So I spent $461. So my budget was $385, and I spent $461, so I was above budget here. I'm going to use this space here to calculate what everything was all together, my total budget. So I budgeted 20, 30, and 1080, and 385. So altogether, my budget was $34.95. And let's see how much I spent altogether. Altogether, I spent $3,431. So I actually, overall, at the end of the month, I was below budget. Let's see how much I was below budget by. $64, which is awesome. The only problem is I didn't make as much money as I thought I was going to make, and I ended up having to use quite a bit of savings. I thought that I was going to make about $2,000, and the rest, so I was going to probably have to use about $1,400 from savings. But let's see, 34, 31. I actually made $1,136. So that means I used $2,295 of my savings. So at this rate, let me put that down before I forget. At this rate, I'm going to run out of savings pretty quickly here. So that leaves, so my options are getting a part-time job, but a part-time job would not be enough to make up the difference there. Or a full-time job, but I don't know. I didn't even make that much. I don't know, guys. And I've been applying for jobs. So I've been applying for part-time jobs, and I'm really surprised I have not gotten any phone calls. Every job I apply for, I think, wow, I'm like way overqualified for this job. I'm going to be a great employee for them, and they don't even give me a call back to interview, so that's kind of weird. But anyways, okay, that's neither here nor there. I have a lot of thoughts. Here's my biggest thought. Right now is my slow months, but starting in November, December, January, those months are so crazy busy, insanely busy for me, that if I do have a full-time job during those months, it's just going to kill me. Last year, it absolutely killed me last year. And last year, I only got through getting it done because I had Jacob and David helping me, and they're not here anymore. Anyways, I've got some big decisions to make. I'm thinking right now about July, just thinking ahead. I don't want to start these cash envelopes in July when I don't have enough income to cover those, and I'd just be pulling from savings to cover those. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm gonna work on my variable expenses and see what I can eliminate or reduce. Okay, so let's go to the end of the month worksheet. This is the Where Did My Money Go monthly budget category breakdown. So starting with earned income. My earned income this month was $11.36. And my savings that I had to use was $2,295. Okay, so for bills, my budget was $20.30. I ended up spending $20.12. So that is a difference. Let's see, $20.30 minus $20.12, a difference of $18. So I have an additional $18. I forgot to calculate my monthly inflow. Let me do that really quickly. $11.36 and $22.95 is $34.31. Okay, so percent of total monthly inflow. In order to calculate that, if you ever forget the formula, it is down here at the bottom. She wrote it down here so you can remember. But what you do is you take the amount that you actually spent. So in this case, it would be $20.12, and you divide that by the total monthly inflow. So divide by $34.31, and then that gives you the percent of your total monthly inflow. Sometimes that's hard for me to see, so I just multiply it times 100, so I just get a clearer picture, and I can see that it's 58.6%. So I'm gonna round up to 59%. So 59% of my income went to bills. Okay, food. So my budget for food was $800. I ended up spending $773. So I was positive at the end of the month by how much? So I was still positive by $27. Okay, so I'm going to calculate my percent of total monthly inflow. How much of my monthly inflow went to food? $773 divided by $34.31 times 100, 22.5. So 23% of my income went to food. Okay, for gas, I budgeted $80. I spent $28. So 80 minus 28 is 52. So I was positive 52 in that budget category. So 28 divided by 34.31, I know it's going to be 1%. Probably less than 1%, but I'm going to round up to 1%. I'll double check just to make sure. Yeah, it was 0.8%, so 1%. Okay, miscellaneous, I had a budget of 200. I spent 157. So I was positive $43 there. So 157 divided by 34.31 is, well, let's see, 4.5, so 5%. 5% of my budget went to miscellaneous expenses. My cash inflow, this is where I went over. I had $385 as a budget. I ended up spending $461. Did I say cash inflow? I meant cash envelopes. Okay, $385, $461. So $461 minus $385. So I was over budget or negative by $76. Okay, so 461 divided by 3431. 13.4. So 13% of my budget went to my cash envelopes categories. Okay, so that is it for my June budget. Definitely lots to think about when it comes to setting up my July budget and what needs to happen there. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up. And I hope you guys will come back hopefully sometime next week when I set up my July budget, and we'll see what I can do with my current situation. Okay guys, I will see you next week. Bye.